Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for the first of our dearly departed reviews. The dearly departed as ever looks at the teams that have managed to get themselves out of the Championship into the Premier League on my watch doing the Championship. We have our five and they have all kicked off. Brentford got us underway on Friday night. Great win for them. There was a dearly departed derby between Aston Villa and Watford. We were guaranteed some points there, and it was a win for Watford. Heavy defeats, though, at a couple of the big boys. Leeds losing at Manchester United. Norwich losing at home to Liverpool. We're going to get through each of those games in just a second. First, though, he's back. It's our good friend Jay Coyle is our fan sponsor for our Dearly Departed shows. As ever, Jay says Dearly Departed, also known as Ben, couldn't bear to lose us. I say you're exactly right. And I say thank you to Jay for supporting. You can get involved over on Patreon if you would like to sponsor one of our recurring shows on the God tier there on Patreon. Right, let's get into this. You know, in these shows, we always go in the order of ranking, and that means Brentford first are our highest ranked dearly departed side after one round. Full disclosure here, we're in the middle of the Sunday games. I think it's about half time between Newcastle and West Ham, and there's Man City and Tottenham to go. But we can go ahead and get on with this. Our five teams and the order of them are not changing. And that is because Brentford, a 2-goal victory for them in the Premier League opener on Friday night against Arsenal. Brentford, familiar system. Remember, they ended last season with 3-5-2, but some new faces in there. David Raya in goal, one of which, Christopher Aja, they're starting in the back three with Pontus Jansson and Ethan Pinnock. Rico Henry, left wing back. Sergi Canos, right wing back. A new face there. Onyeka in the central midfield, along with familiar names there, Norgard and Yanel. Tony and Brian Mbeumo up top. Not a winger anymore, and a 3-5-2. Given how this one went, perhaps the old school Brentford 4-3-3 is just that, old school thing of the past, although Thomas Frank, I'm sure, will adapt during the season. They came up against an Arsenal side who just didn't seem quite ready for the emotion and energy of Brentford's first Premier League game, with all of those fans back in a full stadium for the first time. There's your Arsenal team. Leno, Chambers, White on his debut, Mari, Tierney, Lokonga, Xhaka, Pepe, Smith Rowe, Martinelli and Balogun. And Brentford up fairly early into this game. Sergi Canos getting the first Premier League goal of the season. It's a bit of a weird one, actually, because the ball nearly goes out for a corner. It's very hard to tell whether it did or not. It's worked then back, and Arsenal then, of course, are so deep because of that. Huge box scene there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players plus keeper, with 2 right on the edge of the box as well. You can see how deep they got. Canos touch, drills it right-footed and just catches Leno on his near post. It's a mixture of the power and accuracy of the shot, but you have to add in the context as well that they were all suckered back and not in a very good position defensively to protect their keeper. So 22 minutes into the season's first game, and Brentford, all the firsts. First game in the Premier League, first game with fans for however long, first game in the new stadium with fans, even though it's been open an entire year at maximum capacity. I know they were there for the playoffs. First goal, etc., etc. First goal in the Premier League. All goes to Sergi Canos, 1-0 to Brentford. And Arsenal just had the air of a team that were there for the taking, didn't they? And this is the sort of goal a team that are there for the taking concedes, because Mads Sørensen had come in for Christopher Aja, and it's one of his long throws. You actually see him in the bottom of the picture there, trotting in towards the left-hand side of the box. He tosses it in to the near post. I got a couple of tweets saying, foul on the keeper. No, just so weak. They get caught under the ball, both kind of holding each other on the near post. And Leno just isn't making his presence felt and commanding that 6-yard box. The ball, I think it bounces actually, doesn't it? And pops up for Christian Norgard, at the back post to just nod it over the line. And yeah, were you an Arsenal fan, you'd be saying, typical. Little bit of energy in the air, long throw in the box, and of course, in it goes 2-0 to Brentford, and an opening day victory for Thomas Frank. The numbers, aren't great in anyone's favour, really. Brentford do create those 2 big chances. I'm guessing the big chance they missed fell to Brian Mbeumo in the first half. But look, 22 shots to 8 in Arsenal's favour, 65-35 possession in their favour, 5 corners to 2, blah, blah, blah. They didn't create anything. So you can almost be kind of negative about it both ways, can't you? That Arsenal had the ball, didn't really use it. It's different for Brentford not to have more of the ball than the opponents. But hey, welcome to the Premier League. That's going to be the case. It would dominate possession down in the Championship. So from an Arsenal point of view, you're like, had the ball, didn't do a lot of it. Tierney was fine, wasn't he? Smith Rowe was fine. That's about it. And from a Brentford point of view, it would be a case of hopefully as they grow into the season, they'll be able to, they're not going to win every game on the basis of the opponents kind of not turning up. And I'm a fan of Brentford here on the channel. There will be teams better prepped than Arsenal, who do seem to be just so flaky these days, don't they? And if you transpose those numbers, where the opponents have a lot of the possession, don't really create anything, come a cropper for a couple of goals, that's not always going to be the case in the Premier League. Teams will turn up and not be there for the taking. That's why they're in the Premier League, particularly those top half teams. And also, the ones that stay perennially aren't pushovers, are they? So, brilliant start for Brentford. You love to see it. Getting a victory straight away. But there will be factors that aren't present in the majority of the games that were there. All the firsts, all the fury. That will go quickly, and it's then going to be about Brentford's system and strategy and quality and execution and all of those things. And I think they will be tested more than they were in this game. So, brilliant start for Brentford. Excellent stuff. I wouldn't now, if I was a Brentford fan, be saying, great, that shows that we can compete. Not the time to judge that yet. And I think a few more fixtures. And I'm not calling it a perfect storm, but I think we could foresee this one playing out in this manner, couldn't we? So I'm very positive about Brentford, how they approached it, but I'm just tempering that by saying, look, Arsenal kind of just bent over and took it, didn't they? Sorry to be coarse and use that explanation. It's not always going to be that way, but you take it if you're a Brentford fan, and hopefully that can build some confidence and some momentum for the Bees. Brentford 2, Arsenal 0. Right, on we go. And our other victorious team were Watford in a dearly departed derby. And it ends 3-2. Could have been a lot worse for Villa because it was 3-0 to Watford at 1 point. So sort of Graham Taylor derby here. And a new look really for both of the teams. We saw Watford 4-4-2 and 4-3-3 last season. And is it 4-1-4-1 or was it supposed to be 4-3-3? But maybe they're going to tuck Sema and Sarr back a bit more this season. Who knows? Anyway, backman in goal. Cathcart, Ekong, Kabasele and Messina at the back. That was normally Firmino in that right-back position. And Sierralta in at centre-back, so that defence that served them so well broken up a little bit there. Itebo makes his debut. He's on loan from Stoke, a white elephant there. Kuczka, where did he come from? Parma, I think. And cleverly, as probably supposed to be a midfield three, but you'd have to check heat maps to see where Sema down the left and Sarr down the right ended up. Dennis makes his debut up top, and that was João Pedro and Dini and Gray and Paritza last season. So, tweak, in the words of Tony Hares and Alan Partridge in that meeting, evolution, not revolution there. There's similarities from last season, but a few little upgrades in position. And hey, upgrade in position in the hierarchy after winning the first Premier League game with that side for Villa. Obviously, it's all about how you move on without Captain Jack. He's not there anymore, but Martinez, Cash, Cons and Mings Target were there. McGinn, it was often Douglas Luiz last season. It's Nakamba next to him there. El Ghazi, Buendia, Young, and Danny Ings starts up top. No Watkins there. And look, we don't know the answer, but a lot of people have been, me included, frankly, hypothesising over Villa, net gain, net loss, Grealish there, or Grealish not there, but Buendia. We didn't see Bailey, did we? We didn't see Watkins, Buendia, Bailey and Ings arriving in his place. Maybe that's going to take a while to bed in. Feels like we're going to be saying that about a lot of teams until about October as well, and then we can stop giving them that excuse for sure. But that was your Villa team. Here are the goals. You can see Ismail Assar down that right-hand side, and he was a star for Watford last season, and he races down that line. And they do get a little bit of a lucky bounce here. I think Dennis hits the shot. It's blocked. That's Konza on the deck, isn't it? Once. To be fair to him, he fires the shot in on the rebound to make it 1-0. Got to keep your eye on Sarr, as the Premier League will find out very quickly. The Championship were all about stopping him. But in the Premier League, a lot of teams are more about, oh no, we're playing our game. And he's a real threat with his sort of speed and directness, Ismail Assar. 1-0 to Watford. And look, you make your own luck, don't you? So I think we're going to be saying 10 things are true on this one. I normally say 2 things are true. This is Ismail Assar, who gets in down the right-hand side. We need to give him credit for hitting the shot early. And we need to say to Tyrone Mings, is that a bit of a dangly foot that's dying to be deflected? Possibly. If you're not that tight and you can't make a good blocking shape, are you hindering the keeper by throwing the leg out? Look, if the shot flies in and he doesn't make a block, we're all sitting here saying, why doesn't he make a block? What does happen, though, is I think we can all agree he's a bit too far away to make a good, viable block. And good luck, bad luck, indifferent, whatever, shot it early, credit, too far away, wrong position to make a block, fine. It is then, in isolation, a nice bounce, isn't it, for Watford, just a loop over into the top corner. So analyse all those factors, put them in your brain and chew them up however you like. The ball flies in the top corner off a deflection. Watford go 2-0 up. Brilliant start for the Hornets in the Premier League. And this is a tremendous goal. We're not going to be talking about any lucky bounces and then good finishes or deflections over the top. This is a great one from Chucho Hernandez, who come on for Dennis. And you can see exactly what he's going to do there. Plenty back. Tricky shot right, or just inside the edge of the box there. And he bends that beautifully into the corner. A tremendous goal by Hernandez for 3-0. And Watford are doing the business here in the Premier League. But they're going to make it hard for themselves. This is a tremendous goal by John McGinn. It's been fired across the box there. One bounce. And he's arriving there. They're still, it never does it justice, does it? But hey, what are you going to do? This still doesn't do it justice. He arrives, bounces half volley cushion, left foot past the keeper into the corner. I think you look away, especially at 3-0 up, and you say a bit of quality there for sure from John McGinn. And then, right late on into stoppage time, that's Messina and Traore, isn't it? A really lazy tackle there. I do them in five-a-side when the guy goes behind me and tuck my leg back behind me. You wouldn't expect to see a Premier League player doing that, so pretty poor there. Down he goes, and Danny Ings on debut, right down the middle, sticks it in the net. 3-2 to Watford in our dearly departed derby. So we've got to look at this two ways, haven't we, with our Watford hat on and our Villa hat on. Looking at the numbers, you can see the majority of the possession to Villa. That kind of trends towards what we saw last season, where Villa a bit more of a... but Dean Smith's always been a possession manager, whereas Watford were built on clean sheets in the Championship. And look, let's be honest, every team that goes from Championship to Premier League expect possession numbers to immediately just drop off, whoever they are. Shot count says 13-11. 7 shots on target to Watford and only 2 to Villa. Does suggest Villa gave up too many chances. Not quite clicking defensively. However, look at the big chance count, 1 apiece. And look at the XG count as well. Although you do have to bump 0.77 on for that penalty for Villa right at the death. So really in game, only around 0.5 XG conceded outside of stoppage time. I know ifs, buts, maybes, whatever. I'm just trying to get a handle on this one. And you would then be concluding Villa didn't really create enough, did they? So you got a bad combination in this opening game for Villa. They may have got a bit unlucky with bounces on those first 2 goals, but hey, you give them the chances away. B, they didn't create a hell of a lot, did they? So they gave away chances, had a bit of bad luck, and didn't create a lot themselves. So it's not really a great start from Villa when you piece all those things together. But they did get it back 3-2, a late penalty and an excellent goal by John McGinn. But I think Villa fans will be disappointed with that start in the first game without Grealish. Obviously, always with the mitigating factor of, right, now build in a team. Watkins wasn't there. Where's Buendia ultimately going to go? Bailey, get him in that side and, see where you can build from there. So probably we're going to get some disappointed comments from some Villa fans, which is understandable. Watford, great. You would suggest on the basis of the numbers that they defended fairly well. Just a silly penalty right at the end and a really good goal by McGinn. You would think things went for them for those first 2 goals. That's cool. Third goal was a brilliant goal, but they were making chances. They were using Sarr down the right. So it's a positive start for Watford without you necessarily being able to go, again, a little bit like Brentford, you've been able to go, right, can we now roll this out? Are we looking at a team that steamrolled their first game and we're like, oh, okay, here we go? No, but it's a really decent start. It's 3 points on the board. And forgive me, Watford fans, for doing this, but I'll do this with any of our dearly departed teams. We saw it with teams that survived last season. And let's be quite frank, that is the brief for Watford, Brentford and Norwich particularly. Got higher expectations from Leeds and Villa, who were around halfway, 9th and 11th, weren't they, last season? Get over that point per game as quickly as you can and try and stay there. Make sure you're not chasing it. Make sure you're not Fulham last season where you're 7-8 points off it with 10-15 games to go or whatever the number was. Get above it and stick a win on the board early doors. And look, you can lose 2 and draw the next game and you're 4 points from 4 games and you're online for survival. It's kind of getting things moving, and Watford have certainly done that. I think harder days ahead for Watford will come, but it's a brilliant start, and they really took their chances, didn't they? And a superb third goal as well. So very positive for Watford. And Villa, it's all about the integration now, the new players. And let me know what you think in the comments on either of those sides. Watford 3, Villa 2. Okay, now we've got to go into a couple of defeats. And it's welcome back Norwich. And it's a home game against Liverpool. And it's a 3-0 defeat. And you're almost, if you're a Norwich fan, you want to go, okay, it's not going to be like this every week. It's not going to be Liverpool every week. But also, there's that fear with momentum working the way it does that you don't want to be dripping into, 3-0 home defeats, frankly, early on in the season. So, a difficult start for Norwich, let's just say, against former Premier League winners and European champions in those past 3 seasons. Liverpool, bit of a tweak for Norwich, away from the 4-2-3-1 that Daniel Farke has built his Norwich career on. Coyle in goal. Aarons, he's still there. Hanley, Gibson, Giannoulis. I'll say now, I thought Giannoulis was quite good. I watched a bit of this game and he looked like he had a good bit of energy there. So that's a positive, I think. Gilmour, Elise Melu and Rupp. In that midfield is going to be a lot of responsibility on those guys this season, and they're going to have to really, really step up, the 3 of them. Cantwell and Rasica and Pukki down the middle. So talent up there. Again, the elephant in the room, we've mentioned it with Villa, it's no Buendia anymore, and Buendia really was at the heart of everything good for Norwich. Obviously, I don't subscribe to the view that you have a star player, you lose him, that you immediately now can't play football. There are other ways to do things, and Norwich are going to try out this 4-3-3. We might even see a 3-4-3 at some point. But, yeah, you're going now man for man against a Jurgen Klopp 4-3-3, which is, he's been very good at that. So, tricky business for Norwich. There's your Liverpool team. Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk returns. Tsimikas, if I'm pronouncing that right. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Milner, Keita, Salah, Jota, Mane. So, yeah, a lot of quality and a lot of tenure now in that team. Although Klopp needs to, I guess, build a new one. As Pep Guardiola's doing at Manchester City, and that's going to be the standard. Liverpool are looking to follow. They take the lead in the first half. Norwich had moved the ball around fairly well, but as we're going to look into in the numbers, without creating massive. I think Pukki got in on the angle, and I mean, maybe I'm banging out cliches here, but if I see Pukki going through in that position in the Championship against Coventry or something, I'm expecting him to smash it in the bottom corner and score, and he goes for the near post and Alisson makes the save. I think that was before this one. But yeah, here's the Liverpool goal, and this is the 4-3-3, and Norwich get caught very narrow on a quick transition from Liverpool. I think Milner just bangs it out to Trent. It's open on that side. In it goes to Salah. Little bit of luck, I guess. I think Salah's trying to control it, and his touch just goes through for Jota, but he, first time, as I say, one touch each, bang, 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 slams the ball in with his right foot past Krul. And that's where you... Look, not all Premier League teams are like Liverpool. They're probably the best one at those real quick-fire goals. You know, Manchester United are very good at it as well, and we'll talk about them in the next game. But, yeah, it did look... like Liverpool kind of sat there, let Norwich have the ball for a little while, and then okay, we're going to score now. Bang, off you go, 1-0. So that would be worrying if you were a Norwich fan there. Into the second half, and this is a disappointing goal, isn't it? Firmino has just come on. Liverpool moved the ball fairly nicely. Mane takes a shot. It deflects over to Salah. Look, that can happen. Bad luck. It goes to Salah. It's good composure by Salah, but I don't want to dig out Gilmour there, number 8, who you can see. But Firmino just makes the run behind, and he could easily be tracked if they smell the danger. It's almost like when the ball went to Salah, everybody froze, except Firmino, across the box, and he sticks it home, bit of quality. But you're a Norwich fan and you look at those first 2 goals, you are a little bit, Norwich defended well in the Championship, and you're a little bit, can't concede those goals week in, week out in the Premier League. Just not quite in shape for the first one and punished, and then the second one is just tracking and smelling the danger, and that ball doesn't get to Firmino. Someone cuts it out if they're smelling. I'm looking at Gilmour there, tracking back in. But yeah, on the one hand, if you're a Norwich fan, you're going, okay, Liverpool are good, and they're good at scoring that type of goal. On the other hand, you are going, can you defend that? Can you defend that a bit better? What are you going to do? 3-0 here. Set play comes out to Salah. Bit of quality, isn't it? He's going to bend that one in the far corner. When he gets them in those positions, he's so deadly accurate, isn't he? And 3-0. Now there are, I'm going to say a couple of chances. 3 chances that bounce immediately for Norwich. I think it's about 86, 87 minutes. Hanley, Ida, and the best one for Gibson as well, that are going to tickle the numbers a little bit. If you're an XG fan, you know that often these get swamped up. So, yeah, you can probably, I haven't done the maths, but probably add over 1 XG for that group of 3 chances in one. You can see the big yellow blobs up the top there, which, it is what it is. It makes it closer. But if you stop the clock there, you'd have Liverpool's numbers really, really cushy. And it's, do you want to be creating chances at 3-0 down and missing them, or throughout the game? Look, possession 50-50, great. 19 shots to 14 Liverpool's favour. 8 shots to 3 on target. 11 corners to 3 with the 50-50 possession. And then, look, big chances 4-1. I assume Ben Gibson's was a big chance at the end, and you're then looking at this and saying, okay, possession, shots, Liverpool controlling it, and those numbers swelling at the end with that triple chance that Norwich really should have scored from. It was good saved by Alisson, but big chance for Gibson. You want that to fall to Pookie. Wasn't on the pitch at that point, so not possible to happen. So look, I'm a bit torn in this one, because kind of for our Norwich fans who suffered in that last season, I want to say, look, park this one. It's Liverpool on the opening day. It's the first game without Buendia. It's Gilmour's debut. It's Lys Melu's debut. It's Rashica's debut. I kind of want to say, look, park it. Fine. Whatever. You lost to Liverpool. Whoop-de-doo. Teams will lose to Liverpool. And Norwich's survival or non-survival is not going to be predicated on games against Liverpool and Man City. Look, they beat Man City last time up and were bottom. So it's not going to be predicated on that. It's going to be Newcastle at home, Burnley at home, Brighton away, Wolves. Do you know what I mean? It's those games. You get points from those games. So that's your glass half full response. Your glass half empty response is, if you were a Norwich fan, you don't immediately want to start the season seeing teams sweeping through Carrow Road, winning 3-0, and sometimes it's frustrating because it looks easy, doesn't it? And you don't want to be seeing that. You want Norwich to be making it hard for these teams. And yes, it is Liverpool, and yes, they are good, and all of those things I said about new Norwich system and players integrating in. So yes, on the one hand, I'm saying, look, don't judge the season on this. But on the other hand, there were things they could have done better in that game, and it could have been tighter. But we have to be positive on it here on Dearly Departed. We had 3 teams relegated last season. So my hope for Norwich is that this will develop. Not all opponents will be Liverpool and moving on the counter like that. And Norwich will defend better this season. You've got to cut out a couple of those bits we saw on a couple of those goals, and don't judge it on that. So I'll stay on the glass half full answer there, and you can let me know your feelings in the comments. Norwich 0, Liverpool 3. Right. We spent last season, or a lot of last season, waxing lyrical about Leeds, who were brilliant, weren't they? And finished up in 9th and attacked and went for it and peaked and got better and better as the end of the season went on. They did have a nightmare game, didn't they, at Old Trafford last season, where there was a little bit of a sense that the way Leeds play and the positions they get themselves in in their pattern of play to progress the ball forward and create chances for themselves, were not a good matchup against Manchester United, who are quite good at early passes through with the sort of quality of Pogba and getting runners and getting Fernandes 1v1. It wasn't a good matchup, and Manchester United scored 6 against Leeds at Old Trafford, and it was 5 this time as well. So a very bad start for Leeds. Hopefully, no Leeds fans are panicking because of those things I just said. But look, I know what the rivalry between Leeds United and Manchester United is, so I won't labour the analysis on this game because I know Leeds fans will be bitterly disappointed about that result. There is your Leeds team, so conspicuous in his absence there, Calvin Phillips, of course. Illan Meslier in goal. Ayling Strauch starts, and he did get caught out a few times, didn't he? Cooper starts. Dallas, I joked on a tweet, it's the year 2030, and Dallas is still starting left back for Leeds. I was hoping and suspect during the season we'll see Firpo starting there at left back, Llorente, Orcock in. Look, I said this in the preview, there's a lot of love for Strauch. Fine, great, keep that developing, but I do suspect, well, you tell me, Leeds fans, what's the defensive centre-back partnership going to be as this progresses and Leeds move from what the expectation is, a team stabilising and settling in the Premier League, to a competitive Premier League team, what the centre-back situation is. Look, Phillips is not there in front, so Koch starts central midfield. Harrison, great. Rafinha, great. Rodrigo, great. Click in there in central midfield. Pat Bamford up top. So, strong enough looking Leeds team. Although, yeah, stick Phillips in there and things likely improve, don't they? For Manchester United, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, James, Fernandes, Pogba, and Greenwood. And, again, I won't labour the goals, but this is a litany of Leeds getting caught by early through balls because they're open. They just are an open team, you know. You're not going to change Bielsa 30 years down the line in his career, are you? They get enough good things from doing that the odd tanking is going to happen if someone is able to pick them off in the way Manchester United have been able to. But yeah, it's the story of essentially Pogba being able to pull the strings and play through directly through the heart of the Leeds central defensive positions. There's the opening. You see Pogba back by the referee has clipped that in. And Fernandes' quality, isn't he? Takes it down, runs in behind. It's not the first time, sad, I don't want to pile in on Strauch. It's not the first time in this game we're going to see Strauch running alongside someone whilst they're sticking the ball in the net. It was a hard afternoon for him. It was a great afternoon for Pogba and Fernandes. And, amazingly, I think our goal of the round is actually going to go to Leeds in a 5-1 defeat. You see Luke Ayling arriving there, absolutely larruping that one with the right foot into the top corner. We put the tweet out. Maybe McGinn's goal, Hernandez, Canos, Ayling. So we'll give Ayling goal of the round. A small skank consolation for Leeds fans in the face of a 5-1 defeat. And yeah, here come the goals. Again, it is Strauch, isn't it? 21. Running alongside Mason Greenwood. It's a lovely ball by Pogba inside. Catches him out. Greenwood's pace. He's such a good finisher, isn't he? Drills that in low into the far corner. Here's another one. Pogba slides it through to Bruno Fernandes. Steps inside. He's already laid down Illan Meslier. Look on the goal line and you will see Luke Ayling, who just has his positioning not quite right because he does clear the ball, but from just behind the goal line, and the goal line tech obviously gives the goal for that one. Here is another one for Bruno Fernandes. Again, it's clipped through. I think it's Lindelof that plays this one through for 4-1, and Fernandes hits the hat-trick smashes it in, and then Pogba gets assist number 4 of the game. You can see number 6 squares that. Fred arriving, he's just ahead of Click, and he sticks it into the back of the net. 5-1. Manchester United beating Leeds on opening day. Look, of course Leeds had more possession. 51%. And yet, just this seemed kryptonite now over the last 2 games, Old Trafford. 5 goals from 1.27 XG. 5 goals from 3 big chances from 8 shots on target. So I think what you can say, without me being a Leeds apologist, is that Manchester United key passing and finishing was good. That parlayed with the Leeds centre halves and, the people ending up in those positions not particularly covering themselves in glory with tracking and runners and getting beaten and getting themselves in bad positions. But again, can you parlay that into a conversation about the fact that there are times where Leeds centre halves do get exposed, don't they, because of the attacking way they play, and then of course the elephant in the room of Calvin Phillips not being in that position in front of those centre halves. Does that improve things? For Leeds, look, they created 2 big chances, didn't take either of them. They scored a worldie. I don't know. On another day, is that a lot closer? Possibly not. It was just Manchester United's day with Old Trafford full again. If I'm a Leeds fan, am I overly concerned? Probably not. Because, in Bielsa, they trust, and that trust has been repaid many, many times over the past, how many seasons is it now? 2 in the Championship, 1 over the past 3 seasons, 1 in the Premier League. What would make me worry if I were a Leeds fan is if all of a sudden the goals started flying in the net against Leeds, and we got a 5 and a 2 and a 3 and a 3 and a 1 and a 3. Do you know what I mean? And lots of goals are being conceded. I don't anticipate that happening, to be honest. I think Leeds improve when Firpo's getting going and they can work on that back 4. Fascinated to see what you guys say, actually, though, about the centre-half positions. And obviously Phillips getting into that team. So, look, I don't foresee long-term problems, but it's not the one, is it? Starting with a 5-1 defeat at Manchester United. Let me know what you think, Leeds fans. Manchester United 5, Leeds 1. Okay, that be that for opening round. Now, I framed, screenshotted, whatever terminology we're going to use, the league table. It's actually 2-2 now between Newcastle and West Ham. So, I guess they both stay where they are because there were no draws. There's still 30 minutes to play. Doesn't matter too much. We've got a penalty. We might have a penalty being checked now. West Ham might be about to take a penalty. It's all going off here. Anyway, look, wins for Watford and Brentford, great starts. Defeat for Leeds and Norwich and Aston Villa into the bargain. We can't gauge too much from round 1 league tables. We can gauge more from performances, but as I keep saying constantly, it feels like we're going to be saying a lot, wait for this to develop and this to develop. And given how short the close season seems to have been with Euros and COVID and all of that good stuff, it feels like a reasonable argument to make. Up next, for the dearly departed, next weekend, Villa play Newcastle. It is indeed a penalty to West Ham, by the way. Watch this live. Michael Antonio is about to take a penalty, chance to put West Ham up. He's missed it, but they're going to get the rebound. It's a rubbish penalty. Followed in by Thomas Souček. So West Ham have gone 3-2 up. Hang your heads in shame, Newcastle defenders there. Souček way ahead of them. Anyway, not the time. So Villa, Newcastle. Palace play Brentford. It's Leeds, Everton. Norwich have to go to Man City after playing Liverpool. Go and get them out of the way, I guess. Brighton versus Watford. Let me know what you think about your team starts and any of the topics we have brought up. Thank you very much for watching our round 1 review in Dearly Departed. Thank you again to Jay, our Dearly Departed fan sponsor. Dearly Departed, also known as Ben, couldn't bear to lose us. I think Dearly Departed, given my very, very, very days old new child here, we're probably going to be 1 per week. So let me know when you'd like to see that. We can try and get it as close to the round of games finishing, and maybe we won't be able to preview the weekend's action. But let me know what you want to see from Dearly Departed in the comments, and time permitting, we will try and deliver that. I've had my say, now you have yours. Get involved in the comments. Welcome to the new season. Hopefully we can enjoy the ride together. All you Leeds, Villa, Norwich, Watford, Brentford fans, and it's a big over and out from me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.